Hey everybody, welcome back to our Dream Lovers series. This is the micro series inside of it called Good, Bad, and the Ugly. If you haven't caught any of those so far, basically I'm just giving testimonies about times that I dreamed and it was right, things turned out good. Times when I dreamed and thought I knew something and didn't know the interpretation to it turned out bad, and where things may have just gotten ugly, right? So today we're going to be talking about kind of a good testimony. I have shared some very vulnerable times when I've been transparent and, I haven't withheld my failures so that they can help teach you so that you don't have to fail the way that I've failed, and it can be a little bit easier for you. So I'm kind of in an interesting season right now where things that the Lord has told me and shown me in dreams are finally, not finally, I shouldn't say finally because things have taken place here and there as I've shared, but I'm in a season where a lot of things that He's told me is starting to come to pass and happen. It's like almost every week something is taking place that He's told me about. But I did want to talk about restaurants and pregnancies in dreams today. And I've been wanting to talk about this for like 2 months now. But this, that, and the other thing got in my way. All right. So um, please log your dreams. If you're not familiar with my teachings and stuff, I've mentioned this many times. Log your dreams. Log your dreams, log your dreams, log your dreams. I don't care if you want to write it out the old fashioned way, if you want to type them up every morning, or I've done both of those and eventually worked my way to Evernote. I used to use OneNote, also a great app. However, there were some issues where they were deleting things and I didn't know why, and I just could not have that happen. So I've switched to Evernote. I've been with Evernote for several years. I love Evernote, and the neat feature about it is as you're taking notes, you can just hit the microphone button and speak your dream right into it, and it types it out for you. Not always perfect. You have to go back and kind of check for flaws and weirdness, but it does work, and it's a great way to not get tendonitis or carpal tunnel while you're writing out all your dreams or typing them out every morning. It saves time for sure. All right, so but log your dreams, because here's what I find. I've been logging my dreams. This June is 7 years that I've been logging my dreams. And they are not random. Dreams are not random. They are not strange. I mean, yes, they're strange. They can be very strange, but they're not random. They're not pointless. There is a point and a reason for the dreams that we have. And a lot of times, I'll ask the Lord, why didn't you, something will happen. I'll be like, why didn't you tell me that? Just ran into someone the other day and I was like, why didn't you tell me that, Lord? And He's like, I actually did tell you that. And sure enough, went back to my dreams and there it was. So He does tell us. We just aren't paying attention, or we don't remember, or you know what, we're not logging our dreams. I'm going to talk a little more in depth on this in my Dreams and Visions in the Bible series, that's going to come out on Monday. I mean, the series is up, but this next episode of it, or video of it, is going to come out on Monday. We'll be talking about Job, a favorite verse of mine, and go more into depth on types of dreams and that sort of thing. But if you have a dream, they're in one of these categories. It's not necessarily just I ate spaghetti. Yes, it's possible spaghetti might, have some sort of thing inside of it that opens up different receptors in your brain, things that we intake in our body can. Drugs, right? It could be something, it doesn't even have to be an illegal drug. It could be like Benadryl, those types of things might open up receptors that make us more receptive to the spiritual realm. But the dream is not from spaghetti. And so there's that type of thing, yes, but still, dreams are spiritual. It's never just random. You're dreaming it for a reason. Either it's a true dream, God's giving you revelation, whether that's future or present or even past. Could be a false dream, right? A lie. When we start paying attention to our dreams, different spirits, they definitely want a voice. They want to lead you down the wrong path. It's a huge, complex thing. It's a language. Dreams are a language. It's complex, and to just set out and say you understand it, when you've just been dealing in dreams for 6 months, you're off to a rough start already if that's your mentality. Dreams are spiritual, like I said, and so Maybe if you are entertaining sexual spirits, guess what you're going to be dreaming about? You're going to be dreaming about sexual things. Not That's not to say that any sexual dream is because of a sexual spirit. Like I said, it's very complex. Too much for me to get into right here. Maybe you might have like lying spirits that just want to lie to you because you're paying attention to your dreams, like I said, and get you to say things and do things because you think that God is giving you that revelation. Prophetic dreams, dreams that are coming in the future, overcoming and healing dreams. Oftentimes, many recurring dreams are a hurdle that we have to cross over in our life, especially if it was a traumatic event or something we're just trying to stop doing. I used to have dreams about smoking. I smoked for many years, and I used to dream about smoking that I was trying to quit, and someone would offer me a cigarette, and I would be so frustrated because I would accept that cigarette, and sure enough, in life, I would relapse and start smoking again. And I remember, this happened over and over and over, and this is before I even started logging my dreams. I remember this pattern in my dreams. And then I remember the night that I dreamed someone offered me a cigarette, and I did not take it, and that was when cigarettes no longer had power over me. It's kind of like that binding on earth, binding in heaven, kind of thing. So you might dream about, maybe if you had been sexually abused in the past, that might be a recurring thing. Either the enemy is just trying to make you fearful and he's using that dream, or the Lord is using it as a healing opportunity in your soul. Dreams are either literal or metaphoric. Or in a dream, they can be both. They can have some parts that are literal, some parts that are metaphoric, as we'll see here. And I'm just doing a very brief thing on this because I'm going to unwrap it a little bit more in the other video I talked about. Okay, so intercession dreams, sometimes we dream God's giving us the enemy's plans, and he's saying, look, this is going to happen if no one intervenes or no one intercedes. So you have the chance to change the course of the future through intercession. And as you go through, you'll learn the languages of each type and the colorations, etc., to kind of understand more who's talking and what they're saying and why. But it does take time. It takes a long time. Obviously, the easiest and quickest route, most efficient route to learning what your dreams are saying is seek, knock, ask, and fast. Always, hands down, you want to be 100%, spot on all the time. This is the best way. However, sometimes you can become overwhelmed and bogged down with dreams, and it's like, dude, if I fasted over every dream I had, I would never eat. That's just the reality. So it is a language, and so we do get to learn the language as we go, but never to lean into our own understanding and let God confirm in the end. But as we're kind of chewing on, we're logging our dreams and praying over them and just kind of learning the process. Let's just say, for example, you have a dream about a restaurant, and it's true, it's prophetic in nature. Your next question to yourself, obviously, you should seek, fast, ask, and pray, those types of things. But your next question to yourself is kind of a narrowing, analytical process can be, is this dream literal or is it metaphoric? Restaurants in dreams are going to be literal or metaphoric. And so what is a restaurant? A restaurant is a place where you are fed, okay? So is that going to be a place where you're fed physically or a place where you're fed spiritually, okay? And so a lot of times in dreams, if you dream about a restaurant, it could be a restaurant. That's the literal version. But if you dream about a restaurant, it could also be a church, be a Bible study, be something like that where you're being spiritually fed, okay? It's a metaphoric language, and signs and symbols in our dreams are going to be literal or metaphoric. In this specific dream that or series of dreams that I'm referring to about restaurants, in the dreams, some things were literal and some things were metaphoric. I knew it was true, and I knew that they were prophetic in nature. I had a series of dreams for the past 5 years that I would run into someone I knew at a restaurant. And so I kind of, because I'd gone to church with this person in the past, greatly assumed, lean into my own understanding, for a couple reasons, which we'll get into later, that I would run into them at a church function. Okay, so I'm considering that this dream is telling me metaphorically, I'm running into this person at a restaurant. Okay, but this dream actually happened. It happened a few months ago, and I ran into this person at a restaurant, just like the Lord had said that I would run into them at a restaurant. In fact, I knew 2 weeks in advance that I would be going to this restaurant, and that it was very likely that this person would be there, and that must have been what the Lord was referring to. And so in this dream, I brought this person a rag. Now, for a long time that bothered me, and I did not have any clue what a rag represented. I've had some dreams about rags, but didn't seem like that symbol, what I learned rag represented, did not really match up here. And in the dream, when I brought this person rag, it was unclear. Like, did they spill their water? Like, why would I get up and hand this person a rag? Like, that doesn't make sense in church, and that doesn't really make sense in a restaurant unless, they spill their drink or something, right? And so, like I said, 2 weeks prior, and I had actually sought and knocked and asked, what does this rag mean? What does this rag mean? But he was silent. And sometimes the Lord will be silent. It is his right to withhold whatever pieces he chooses to withhold for whatever reason until a perfect timing of his. So this whole time, he had not spoke to me and told me what rag represented in this dream. I tried to fit the puzzle pieces together, couldn't come up with anything. Like I had said 2 weeks prior, I knew that this event was coming. It was at a restaurant. It was a invitation that I had received, and I thought, this has to be what the Lord was referring to about running into this person that I knew at a restaurant. And so in my mind, I started thinking, I miss this person's birthday. Wouldn't it be nice if I brought a kind of a peace offering, because it's been a very long time since I saw this person. And so from that, kind of this, process, what will I give this person, putting this thing together, bringing it with me in case that person is there, and this is exactly what the Lord was referring to, and so on. And the night before, I kind of had a dream where this person was overwhelmed and kind of going through a rough time. And so woke up knowing that rag meant it was like a time of encouragement and lifting this person up during a dark time that they were passing through. So you can see that even though I actually met that person, ran into that person at a restaurant, which was literal, rag in the dream was still metaphoric, okay? And so this dream, like I said, came to pass. It wasn't one dream. It was a series of dreams that I had about running into this person, which we see in Genesis when Joseph interprets the dream to Pharaoh. He says, because you dreamed it twice, the Lord is letting you know that it's established and set in order. So he does speak like that. He does kind of give several, hey, this is happening, and also a way of encouragement. Like I said, it had been many years that I dreamed this, and so I think I would start to kind of lose hope and think that must be a silly dream, and he would give me another dream. No, this isn't silly, this is really going to happen, it just isn't that timing yet. And so it was kind of this nice time of peace and running into this person and just seeing how God works and moves and how mysterious he is and how ahead of things he is, and just this really awesome moment in my life and in my prophetic journey and in my dream journey, okay? So, but one of the reasons that I did not think I would run into this person in a restaurant, and I had to kind of search myself and ask, why did it never occur to you that you would run into that person at a restaurant? Like, why did you always just think that it was going to be at a church function? And like I mentioned, I had gone to church with this person in the past. And so it was likely. That was so likely. But God's like, remember that I'm the God of the impossible. And it was like, just I had put God into a box, and so he says, I can do far more than you can think, ask, or imagine, and so, but we always have these concepts of what is likely. what is really likely though, you know? Like if you have a dream about running into a blue elephant, or well, let's say a purple elephant, because blue and gray could be confused, but let's say you dreamed you're running into a purple elephant. You probably in your mind are like, okay, that's not likely, so this must be metaphoric, you know? And so that's kind of the concept my brain was going through. But God said to me, I am the Lord God of all flesh. There is nothing too hard for me. And he loves actually to show his prophetic people the impossible. He loves to show them the unlikely in their dreams and then show them the end result of it and how it played out. That he's the God of the impossible. He is the God of the unlikely. He is the God where there is nothing too hard for him. Okay, and those scriptures are Ephesians 3:20 is he can do exceedingly more abundantly, I think is the word that they use, far more than you can think, ask, or imagine. And then Jeremiah 32:27 says, I am the Lord God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? No, there's nothing too hard for him. And so that brought me back to realizing how many times God has showed me the unlikely. People will say no, 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 no. But God says, I don't care what you say. If I say yes, it's yes. And so that brings me to pregnancies and dreams. Anytime, like I said, you know the dream is true, you can ask yourself, is it literal or is it metaphoric? Pregnancies is the same, right? Pregnancy in the physical and the literal, hey, you're going to have a baby. You're pregnant and you're going to have a baby. If it's metaphoric and it's spiritual, okay, then it might be that you're getting ready to give birth to something new, okay? You're carrying something inside of you, life inside of you, and you're about to give birth to it, okay, so to speak. And in those types of dreams, how far pregnant you are can be very important. How old your baby is can be very important when we're talking, you know, literal and those types of things. Metaphoric. But brought me back to a couple people in my life that I dreamed about. This actually, both of these occurrences happened before I started logging my dreams, but I've always known that my dreams were significant. I just never took the time out to really pray, seek, fast, ask, knock, or even log my dreams. But I had this happened with two different couples that I know that would swear up and down that they weren't going to have kids. No, we don't want kids. We don't want kids. We want our life, you know, to live. We want to live our life without kids, you know, doing whatever we want, coming, going as we please. But with both of these couple, and this happened different seasons of life, I would dream consistently that those ladies were pregnant, that they were pregnant. And sure enough, both of those ladies to this day have kids. Not just one, but two. Both of them. They don't even know each other. I'm just different people, different branches of my life. But God likes to show us the unlikely and say it doesn't matter what we see with our eyes. God is in control. God knows the plans and he knows the future and so on. And in fact, in one of those situations, I would dream about this lady that was pregnant. In real life, she had short hair. And in the dream, when she was pregnant, she had long hair, and I knew that it would be a season of her life when she would grow her hair back out. And sure enough, she started growing her hair back out, and she ended up pregnant. So God is good, and we cannot just put him into a box, okay? Let's not put him into a box. He can do far more than we can think, ask, or imagine. Even bringing a purple elephant to you, you just never know. So it is what God says it is. And what I really should have done is ask the Lord, is this a restaurant or is this a church meeting or a Bible study type thing? That would have probably helped me quite a bit in my understanding. However, I did ask him about rags and he remained silent, and it is his right to do so. And he does that. Whether he doesn't want to influence our decisions, whether he doesn't want to give info to the enemy and those that are standing by in the spiritual realm. I'm sure there's a variety of reasons, but it is his right to withhold information if he's willing. So I always say, Lord, if you're willing, to give me information on such and such. Please, Lord, please give me that wisdom. Your word says that anyone who lacks wisdom to ask, and that you give liberally. So, greatest way, easiest way, quickest way, best route. Seek, knock, ask, and fast. However, remembering that dreams are a language. They are a language, and it's as complex as any other language. And it takes time, and it takes foolproofing it. It takes testing. It takes time. It takes so much time. Does not come easy. I remember one time the Lord told me, truth is not easily sifted quickly. Okay, and so it's a hard process, and it's a long process. But the key point is always fellowship and communion with the Lord, and remembering that He can do the impossible. There is nothing too hard for Him, so don't discount it. Restaurant could just mean restaurant. Even though that seems like a needle in the haystack, it still could mean restaurant. So if you haven't been watching the Dreams and Visions in the Bible series, like I said, I have another one coming out on Monday, and I'm going to go a little more in depth on some of these dream types, and talking about one of my favorite passages in the book of Job and how that relates to dreams and visions. All right, so God bless you guys. Hope to see you in other videos.